In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create some sheet metal components using the multi-body feature in Inventor. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go create a normal block or normal sort of sketch, which I'm going to then create my sheet metal components of. So the first thing I'm going to do is create just a normal rectangle. I'm going to extrude that. So let's go to here, let's make it 500, 600. And then we can extrude that. And what I'm going to do is initially I'm going to just go up. Let's make it 350. Okay, so this is going to be my kind of skeleton or template, which I'm going to then clad sheet metal around. So the first thing I'm going to do is start off a 2D sketch and make sure that I project the geometry so that I can get the outline of the sheet metal component. Now, if I have to go create new sketches on each different part, I'm going to have to go and project geometry. So what we can do with this is if I go to my tools and I go to application options, I've got the option so that when I create a new sketch, it'll automatically create the projected geometry for me. It just makes it a little bit easier. So if I go to my sketch tab, you'll see over here auto project edges for sketch creation and edit. So there we go, select that and click on OK. So let's go and create the other sketches. Back to my 3D model, select. You'll notice there it automatically creates the 3D sketch for me. The projected geometry for me, sorry. Okay, so once that's done, I'm now ready to start creating my 4 sheet metal components around here. So I'm going to change this into a sheet metal component. Okay, and what I can do from here is just go and change or make sure that I've got the correct thickness. So I'm going to say like default, so let's go to edit this default millimeter sheet metal rule and let's make it 1.6 and we'll make it steel carbon. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to create a face, and what this face does creates an extruded sheet metal face, a new body, by adding depth to a sketch profile. So I select that. I'm going to make sure that I create a new solid, and then I'll go and click on my profile over here. Okay, now what I want to do is I want it to go, let's make it go on the outside. Okay, apply, and then let's go take a look at the next one. Make sure it's going to the outside, outside, and outside. Okay, so if I take a look at the solid bodies that I've only got 2, so I made a bit of a mistake over here. So I actually, when I created that second phase, it wasn't supposed to be join, it had to be new solid. Okay, so the nice thing about Inventor, it's parametric. We go back and we can go quickly edit those 4 faces. And as I say, create a new solid for each one, you'll notice now that I've got my solid 1, which was the square that I initially drew, then solid 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So now what we can do is we can go and export that out to be 4 different sheet metal components. But before I do that, what I want to do is I want to put some flanges on here. So when I create a flange, you'll see there it's going to make it 35. Now what it does over here, it actually adds it to the closest body that it finds. And you'll see there now, it's actually put that bend in over there, but it's done nothing over here. If I go and take another flange on the side over here, you'll see it does that as well. Now, what happens is if I wanted to miter that over there. So what I could do is I could do a corner seam, select that part, select that line, and you'll see it does the miter for me. So it knows how to interact even though those are 2 different bodies that I'm creating. Now let's take a look at the other side over here. So what happens is if I had to create the flange, but I selected both at the same time, it will then go and create that miter for me automatically. And where that is, if I go to my corner, you'll notice there, apply auto mitering. If I take that off, you'll see there that it will not auto miter. Select my auto mitering, and we create it like that. Okay, and then just the last two, we can just go for a corner seam. Select and select. You know, I could also do the other option of creating a seam like that, and then for this one, let's take a look at what else we've got. Select and select. Okay, so you can either do it from the one side to the other side. Okay. So once that's done, let's take a look at how this performs. So let's go through to our Manage tab. In the Manage tab, components. I'm just going to go and change, Sheetmetal multi-body. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select these four over here. I could have renamed this as well, so I could have said, right, SM1, SM long, or something like that. SM2, let's do that. Now, that's the one place where I can go and change the names. The other one is during this wizard that takes place over here. So I'm going to say, right, I'm going to save it in that folder over there. Sheetmetal MB is going to be the name of the assembly. And then you'll see there's solid 4, and I'm just going to go SM3, for instance, and then let's make this SM4, just to show, see, 4, just to show that you can go and change that. Over here, it tells me my template is going to be a sheet metal part. It's going to be normal bill of material structure, and I'm just going to ask it to go and save it in the target assembly location. Once we've done that, I can click on OK. And then what we've done here now, it opens up an assembly with my 4 sheet metal components over there. Okay, there we go. Take a look at it a little bit better. Go to my view, visual styles, shaded with edges, and you can see there, I've now got my 4 components. And then from that, I can obviously take it into a 2D IDW and then go and 2D IDW and then go and create my details and annotations and stuff like that. Now, what happens if I change something over here? So maybe we want to put a lid on. So I'm going to go back to my sheet metal components. I'm going to put a new sketch on the top over here, and I'm going to project the geometry of the outside points. And we're going to create a rectangle from there to there and make a face. Okay. So using the face feature, I select the top, make sure that it goes in the opposite direction, as well as it's a new solid. Okay. And then one of the nice things about, or one of the useful features of this sheet metal part is, if I had to put holes in here, I'm able then to put holes in as well as make sure that it goes through both components. So let's just maybe do 1, 2, and 3. And do the hole command. It'll pick up all 3 components, but now what it's telling me is that it's only going to cut through the one part. So what we can do over here is, if I go to my input geometry, you'll see there it's cutting through one solid. I can select this, the top face, and you'll see it cuts through both of those. Okay. So now we know that our holes are placed exactly where they should be for both those parts over there. So the one thing I need to do over here is I just need to go and save my assembly quickly. Okay. You'll notice that there should be holes over here. Let's update. There the holes are. Okay. But the top plate isn't there. So what I need to do with this is I just need to go back and make sure that I transport or I export this top face or the top plate into that assembly. So I'm going to go back to my manage and make components. And then I'm just going to select the top component. And what I'm going to do over here now is I click on the open, and it says here, do you want to create a new target assembly? Select no to select an existing target assembly. So I'm going to click on no, because I'm looking for that existing assembly. And that's also why we have to save the assembly before we do this, because if we don't, we're not going to find that assembly. I'm going to say OK, click on next. It tells me that. I'm going to say top plate, click on OK. And you'll see there now, I'm sitting in my assembly, and you'll notice there that my holes go straight through both components there. So that's a nice, quick, and easy way to create a sheet metal structure using multi-bodies and having everything line up, especially when it comes through to holes in your assembly when you do create it. Thanks very much for watching.